Hi, Lori. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you coming on the podcast to share your experiences with your divorce. That was almost 10 years ago that I was helping you through your divorce and just
Wow.
how your life has been, after that. And I think you and I are having a meeting one-on-one in about a week because you're going to retire.
I am.
You are
I
about to
am.
retire.
And I
How's that
am
feel?
it's kind of an amazing feeling to realize that I have made it to this point and I'm not panicking about things because um 10 years ago me would have been panicking about these things. But
Yeah.
I'm not in that place anymore.
Did you even like consider retirement when you were going through the divorce when we first started? Did you think it was ever
No,
even going to happen before you and I really started working together?
no,
Yeah.
no thoughts of retirement. All my thoughts when we started working together were I I I was the primary person to pay the bills and to make sure that the house ran smoothly and do all of that level of financial management. But when it got
Yeah.
to the investments and things that we together had combined, I knew nothing about that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was fearful after the divorce. I knew that I needed to do it. It was amicable and I knew that I needed to do it for me and for my kids just to have the life that we wanted. But the fear for me was, how are we going to manage our finances on
Mm-hmm.
our own?
Mm-hmm.
So just that whole big bundle of things was
Yeah.
overwhelming to me.
You were the manager of the household. You knew
Yes.
what was on auto pay. You know how much
Yeah.
electricity cost. You knew what the grocery bill was.
Yeah.
But like you said, when it came to the investments,
Big picture?
even
No.
if some women they know what's there, like, okay, we have $1 million in this account, there's some type of pension that we're getting, it seems like it's all put together. Some are even meeting with the, I don't want to say her husband's advisor, but oftentimes it's their advisor, but it's
Right.
really the husband and the advisor talking to each other. So, okay,
Right.
it's supposed to be fine, but what does that actually mean?
Mean.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. So, like, knowing, like, oh, $1 million, oh, a pension, oh, it's going to be fine. That's not
Right. And I
the
knew we
way.
had it. I
Right.
just didn't
You did.
know where it was.
You did. And you knew there was a really great pension. And some women, they don't know anything about it. They don't even know the numbers. But what I've seen oftentimes is even when you do know them, even if you've known kind of a little bit detailed, you're still going to have a different life afterwards. It's going to be two
Yeah.
different homes,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, you did know a decent amount now that I'm reflecting back on that too. So at what point do you think that I'm remembering some of the earlier meetings we had sitting down at the table? Was there any point early on where you thought, you know what, this might be okay? I think I got this.
I remember the very first time I came to your office, I was a nervous wreck. I had my notes, I had my purse full of Kleenex, and I had a ton of questions. And I remember thinking to myself, after we talked for about, I don't know, I think I was there for about an hour. And I remember being in the midst of the conversation thinking, and you made a connection to me that I'm very much into signs and messages. I
Mhm.
said, you were asking about the kids, and my kids are Jillian, Jonathan,
Yeah.
and Zachary. And I said, it's very interesting. I'm sitting here with a Jillian. And she said, and you said to me, it's very interesting. My mom is Lori, and she spells her name the same
Yeah.
way as you. And I thought to myself, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Right.
But when you gave me your number as to what I would be paying you to help me with, I
Mhm.
was very, very, very nervous. I was very nervous. And I
Mhm.
got in the car, and when I was heading home, I thought, I have, I don't have a choice. She knows how to handle things for me. I feel comfortable with the conversation that we had. You made everything so personable and you made it seem manageable. You made me feel
Oh.
like I could get to a place where I understood what was happening and be able to manage my three children. And I remember
Oh,
going home from that meeting in full-blown tears in my car thinking, whatever that dollar value is, I have to do that because this is what's going to get me to where I need to be for my kids.
oh,
And that was huge. That was a huge
yeah.
day.
Oh, I love that.
A
Thank you
huge
for
day.
sharing that. That's so amazing to hear all of those details on, I didn't know that was happening because why would you tell me that the next time we meet, right? But that's so amazing and like
Right.
just makes my heart, I'm not even going to say melt. It makes it burst. It makes it
Yes.
burst with happiness and just feel
Yes.
good. And I feel like I'm giving you like a hug right now and maybe doing a little dance at the same time because that's
Yes.
exactly what I want women to feel and know that is there when they're going through a divorce.
Right.
There's so much more than having the right legal strategy. There's so much more than just running the numbers. Because, yeah, of course I run the numbers. I'm the
Hmm.
finance person.
Right.
But none of that matters if you don't feel safe and can't start the process,
Right.
or you're
Right.
stalled in the process, or you're at the end of the process and you still have no idea what life is going to look like.
Right.
The numbers can be the numbers on paper, but if you're not feeling good on a day to day, you're not feeling good, with
It
what
doesn't
you
matter.
need
You've got to
who
feel
cares?
that emotional connection and
Yeah,
that trust.
yeah.
And I felt that emotional connection and the trust right off the bat. Right off the bat. So
Oh,
thank you for that.
oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Um, you know, this could be, it's a you question, but maybe it's a little bit of family members and friends. Because of course we know so many people, almost 50% of people get divorced, right? So our friends, our sisters, our moms, whatever it may be. What do you think is a little different or different about what I'm doing or making you feel versus an attorney or mediator? Like, what difference did you see?
Well, we went through mediation. My divorce was very amicable.
It was.
And the mediator was she was very good at breaking things down, putting things on the whiteboard, and we went through
Yes.
it. It was very matter of fact. She was good about that. But working with you versus working with her, I
Mhm.
think that you were looking out for me and the
Yes.
children rather than looking to divide things evenly. You were saying, okay, there are things you need to consider, but we need to consider how this is going to be best for you and the kids, which was my goal, me and the kids. I didn't want to be in a place where, great, we did everything according to the law. We split everything the way the law says to do that, and now go do what you have to do. I
Now
didn't
figure it
feel
out.
that connection with the mediator that I felt with you. You were saying, okay, in our subsequent meetings, you were saying, here's what it's going to look like down the road. Here's what it's going to look like when you retire. Here's what it's going to. So
Mhm.
that picture, the overall picture, and keeping in the spotlight the benefits for the kids and
Right.
us as a
Right.
family on our own now, that was the difference. That was the
Yeah.
difference was that I could get a picture of what it was going to be. The mediator was taking care of the here and now.
Right.
Just
And the
done.
mediator can only I mean, they can't be an advocate for you.
Right.
Literally, they can't. They have to be a
Right.
neutral.
Right.
But all those details that she can't do, and even if she could do a little bit of, you're there to do the mediation. There's
Yes.
blocks of times, there's meetings, right? It's
Yes.
orderly, which is good because it's a couple that's
Right.
breaking up and they need structure.
Right.
And on top of that, I like that I'm very boutique, I guess you could say. Every
Yeah.
single woman is going to get the same thing, yet something very different. So, what you need, what you want, which can be the same thing or two different things, what you need and what you want.
Well, every situation is very different too.
Yeah.
And uh, it depends on I don't know. If anyone had told me that I was going to get a divorce years ago, I would have never believed it. I was 23 years into this relationship and I was trying to make it work. And it took me close to 10 years to decide that I was done trying to make it work. So at that point, when I know that I am finished and I am on my way out, I wanted to do everything to the best of my ability to do it carefully and kindly, but not lose sight of what I needed to have work out for me. and
Mhm.
for the kids. And
And
that's,
you,
I think what happens is you have to you're in a place where, at least I was in a place where I was very I didn't feel like I had much power or control.
okay. Yep. Yep.
And
Those
after I
words.
met with you a few times and we started working through the process, I gained power and control and I felt like I was heard. And that was something that I didn't feel in my marriage near the end.
That
That's a
is,
huge, that's a huge benefit.
that is beautiful. And you're
That's
going to make
huge.
me cry. And I didn't bring Kleenexes. They're somewhere
You
else.
can't,
So
well, you can cry, but I'm not going to.
that's not that often that I do my eye makeup. Don't make me cry. That was beautiful though. Thank you so much. I didn't know how this was going to affect me. So just this feels so good to hear. I mean, you've always given me praise and told me that, I'm such a huge person in your life, but we're kind of going back. We're going back in time.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing old you. And you just said, like, power control, feeling better, how you were growing into that next chapter. And now we've been working,
Yeah.
well, gosh, we're going to go into the next one. So we had pre-divorce, divorce,
Yes.
and then, about 10 years. And now we're going to be going into retirement in a few weeks. I mean, right?
It's good stuff. It's
Talk
really
about
good
like,
stuff.
yeah, and that's what I love is, I mean, not every woman has to continue on with me for her lifetime, right? But that's what I like about being holistic and detailed and making a strong relationship with my clients. And
Yeah.
it's just not just here's a bit of knowledge, see you later. And if that's what someone needs, that's okay. And there's people
Okay.
to do
Right.
that. I'm just much more intentional. I like to have fewer clients and really get into it and keep them with me if I can. Because that's what I enjoy. That's what makes me feel really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, now, I want you to share a little bit about how you've changed, developed into a higher version of yourself, I will say. You are so energetic. I say so many times, Lori, you're like a 20-year-old. How do you do it? You're going to concerts. You're, staying up with the kids because they have friends over and playing basketball or something of that sort outside. Like just all this energy. What would you say are some just high level highlights of what you do now that just makes you feel alive that maybe you weren't doing right before the divorce?
What I was doing before the divorce was just trying to, I was fighting to hold on to something that was dying. And
Mm,
I was trying to rekindle a marriage on my own. And my ex-husband was didn't think anything was wrong with it. He was fully satisfied. I was not.
yeah.
So as I learned that, I, I mean, I went into it till death do us part, but
Mm,
the thing that I learned is that it was slowly killing me to stay there. I
mm,
was losing myself all the time.
mm.
Um, when I went back to when I took a job when my youngest got out of elementary school, I started substitute teaching. And when I got into that substitute teaching position, I decided that I really enjoyed it. I was in the elementary school and I
Yeah.
was working there so often that one of the other teachers said, "Why wouldn't you be full time?" And I said, "Because I like to say no, but I don't like to be here every day." But then they said, "You don't understand. The benefits are huge. The
Yep.
benefits are huge." And something went off in my head, and I realized that at some point I was going to be divorced and I would need to be preparing my life
Mm,
to have benefits. And so I brought home the package and I looked it over and I asked my husband at the time to review it. Please look at the benefits package because it was way better than his package at Xerox. Way more coverage for less money. He
mhm,
wouldn't look at it. He wouldn't look at it. One
mm,
day I said to him, "Did you look at that yet?" He said, "No, why would you take a job for benefits?" And I said, "Clearly you haven't looked at it." So then, like a month later, he came in and he said, "I looked at the benefits. They're great." And I said, "Yeah, whatever." I was over it. I had asked the kids if they had a problem with me taking the job in the school, and they said no,
right.
because the hours would work out great for their time. And so we had agreed that that was what I was going to do. I took the job. And then I started prioritizing some self-care. I didn't do that when I was raising the kids as little kids.
Yeah.
I started doing a little bit of, and you think, oh, that means get a gym membership. No, I was doing more thoughtful mindfulness. I was doing I went to when I go for my acupuncture treatment that you mentioned, and when I would go for acupuncture, I would tell them that I was just drained, and
Mm,
then I would feel rejuvenated when I left the treatment because
yeah.
you can get needles for everything.
Yep. I can't wait to get mine in about an hour.
I
I'm
I
excited.
love it.
Yep.
So I just realized that I needed to be taking care of myself so that I could take care of the kids
Oh
back
my
then.
gosh. You are just like, it's like you know what women need to hear right now. I mean, you've been doing it over and over again, but that right there too, just oh my gosh,
You
Lori.
have to.
Yes, you have to take care of yourself so you can take
And
care
it's
of your
hard when you are struggling to do
yeah,
that.
yeah,
It's very hard. I went through years of sadness,
yeah,
years of sadness. And I don't do it anymore. I used to worry about everything. I don't do it anymore. And I advocate to people all the time. Don't worry about things like that. Figure out if you need to distract yourself, distract yourself. Think of something positive. Find something, put on a little music, whatever it takes. But the worry is killing you. And
yeah,
that's what it was doing to me. And
yeah.
now I'm gonna cry. But like you
Okay.
say, when my son's friends are over, we have every year for Friendsgiving, we
Yeah.
have 14 13 to 15, now they're 22-year-olds in my
I
living
can't
room for
believe. I mean,
Friendsgiving. It's awesome.
I
It's awesome.
know. Yeah, I mean,
So you just gotta you gotta
you live life. You really do. I mean, with the kids, with your friends, and you go to your
yeah.
concerts. You've been doing your art on and off whenever you feel like it.
Well, that's what's gonna happen once I
Yeah,
retire. I'm gonna put more
yeah.
time into that.
I
My
don't know if you
artwork
need it
is
anymore. I don't know. So I'm in my second home right now. So
ah,
I haven't finished decorating, but
you have
I can
them.
tell you these are I switched from the one office to here for these,
We need to
right?
upgrade. We need to upgrade. You need
But
a
these
better
are the
vase.
original ones that you made for me.
Okay, well, we'll put them in a lighted vase. Those
Yeah,
flowers you can have, but we'll put them in a lighted vase with yeah.
that would look pretty cool, right? But
Yeah.
this is what you can do all these ladies that are listening and watching right now, you can be creative. You can do whatever you
Yes.
want to do, right?
You
I
can
do
do whatever
expect
you
these
want to
types of gifts if you are going to be creative, such as Lori has given me.
do.
Um, you know, but
Yeah, you really can do whatever you want to do. You just have to it's I think it was a confidence that grew over time
yes.
that I had it when I was younger. It dwindled, but it came back. And everybody can have it. You just have to you just have to cultivate it. You have to dig deep and find it, and then you have to feed your creativity, your whatever brings you joy. You have to fit it in. You have to
And
fit it
I'm
in.
a big person with energy and having more good things come in and positive light, that if it's stagnant and you don't feel good, nothing can come in, not much can come in until you
Right.
let go, whether
Right.
it's a divorce, whether it's an old job or what will be an old job.
Yeah.
When there's just that stagnant, I don't feel good, you gotta let it go. Find
Yeah.
support, let it go, divorce or something else so you can have everything else come to you. And it will, but if
It's
you're
true. It
full,
does.
it's not coming.
It
It
does.
can't get in. It just won't. The universe says no, it's not gonna happen.
There's no room. When you hold on to things that aren't good for you, there's no room for better things to come.
There really, really
I
isn't.
truly believe it.
Every single year. I mean, I fully believe it now, but it keeps showing me. I'm like, I get it, and it helps me grow and helps me grow and helps me grow. And I just love it so much. And I'm so glad that you were able to do that. And I see that with so many of my clients, just, being in that place that you were. And then we take control, educate, see what's going to be after, even while we're doing the divorce. Here's a
Right.
glimpse of what it's going to be like. So when you are signing on the dotted line or even getting close to that and talking about what's going to be split up in the mediation room or with the attorneys, you had mediation,
Right.
then you can say, okay, yeah, Jillian and I were talking about this. I know what they're
That's
referring
okay.
to right
That's
now.
okay.
I
Yep.
get it. And I know what it can look like afterwards. And I know that I can pay my bills. So, okay, I can be calm and cool as much as possible in this mediation and think logically.
Right.
That's what I usually hear.
Yep.
I know we're running out of time, but I must ask. You've already told women that are listening to this that may be going through what you were going through 10 years ago, and even 15 and 20 years ago when you knew that you were going to need one. If you could tell them one thing, let's say, they're looking at my webpage and they're like, I think I want a consultation, and they're about to fill out their name, but they're struggling to do it. What would you tell them so that they say, I'm going to get that complimentary consultation?
Well, what does it hurt to go and invest an hour to find out what could help you?
That's
If
true.
you decide that it's not going to help you, if you decide while you're there that you hear something you don't like, but what is it going to hurt to go and take that free hour or half an hour, whatever it is, go sit there, ask your biggest questions. Ask
Mm-hmm.
your biggest questions. Just, I
Right.
mean, in all honesty, I knew that first meeting when I sat down with you, the way that we conversed, that we had a connection right then and there, and I didn't. I I knew I had to figure out a way to be able to move forward
Mm-hmm. Yep,
because
absolutely.
it is very much worth investing that time to find out what is possible for their future. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know until I sat down with you. I didn't
Yep.
know what was possible for my future. I had
That's
no idea that I would be where I am now
mm-hmm.
before I came to see you. No idea.
Right. Yeah.
And to just add a little additional plug in there,
Yeah. Yeah.
what you've done for my sister, Jennifer,
Oh.
who is, I mean, I met you in person locally here in Rochester.
Right.
She's in New Jersey, and
Yeah.
you connected with her, and you've done amazing things for her with her very difficult situation. And
Yeah. Yeah. She has a unique
grateful. I'm just
situation. Yeah.
grateful. I'm
Yep.
so
Yep.
grateful.
Yeah. And she'd been divorced for a while, but
She was
had,
divorced before me.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
helped her get through her divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And I fully believe that that was preparing me to know what I had to do,
Yeah.
signs and signals, you know?
And then you came to me
Yeah,
from preparing her for her divorce, and then
right.
I got connected to
And then I
her
sent you
from
to
you.
her.
It's just, you know what I mean? When
Yep.
we're all, being our best selves and going where we need to go and taking care of ourselves and each other, right? You taking care of her and vice
Yeah.
versa. It all
Yes.
works out in the end. Support systems, sisters support each other, friends
Yes.
support each other. And then, you also need the professionals when it's time to support you as well. Yeah.
Right.
And that's the thing too, me being able to, work virtually because it is something so unique that I do.
Yes.
I'm able to see clients from all over the US. Sometimes I'm
Yeah.
even in different time zones. Not often, or not
I
time
know.
zones, countries. Not me,
Countries.
but I some like last week I had somebody that was in Italy for work.
Hmm.
So, they're in Italy, I'm here. It doesn't matter as long as there's an
Doesn't.
internet
It's
connection.
the beauty of the technological advances now, or it just makes it
Exactly.
so much, it makes it so much easier for people to be able to receive the help that they need.
Right.
They
Right.
don't even need to get in the car and go to the office.
You don't need
So,
to. You really don't. And I found too, because I was like, seeing people nationally, but not seeing them in person because that's what you kind of do, right? You see someone in person if you're an attorney or a financial person or your
yeah,
doctor, right? But because it's such a personable, sad sometimes, vulnerable
vulnerable.
situation, being
Yeah,
able to sit in your own home or go over to your sister's or wherever it may be where you're comfortable,
right.
you can be in your pajamas, you can do whatever you want because it's already a difficult conversation. Not all the time, right? but some of them
No.
are going to be.
Yeah.
You can do it from wherever you want and you can feel safe. Some situations, I do mean that in a literal sense, where
Yes.
I have cases that, there's abusive cases
Right.
of all types. It could be
Right.
emotional abuse, financial abuse, sexual abuse, whatever it may be, right? Get to a safe place. You don't need to worry about being seen going into an office and
Right.
I
And
make it
that's
work. I make it work.
something that a lot of people don't think about because they're not in that situation. I was fortunately not in that kind of a situation.
Right.
But I mean, I do remember it getting a little dicey when we were talking about the actual dollars. I do
Yep.
remember it
Yeah.
getting a little uncomfortable, but
Yes.
in the
It
end,
does. You are going through a divorce, right? Yep. You got
right,
it.
right. And everybody is protective of their assets and their belongings, and that's to be expected. So I think just knowing that it's rough. It's not an easy process, but as far as the process overall, you made it very manageable and very easy to understand. And I felt like I knew what I was doing as I went through the process. I felt like I was knowledgeable and capable. I did not feel as though I was ever taken advantage of. I never felt as though I was um, not capable of knowing what you were doing. And
Mhm.
that I think is important too, that when you're in that place where I was 10 years ago, you want to have some confidence that you are doing the best you can do for yourself and your family.
Yeah, it's the
And
biggest
that's what I
financial
felt.
transaction of someone's life. Biggest financial transaction of someone's life.
Yes.
Permanent. You're signing on a dotted line. Yet, vast majority of the time, there's no financial person involved, right?
That's
And that's
crazy.
one of the reasons why, after doing retirement planning, which obviously I still do, right? But then wanting
Mhm.
to get into divorce too, I thought, how's there no financial person involved from the
Right.
get-go? This outside of emotion, which we have a lot of,
Yes.
outside of custody agreements, right? Which some of my clients have, many of them have
Yes.
older children, and they're soon to be, not dependent anymore. Is we are splitting up finance, taxes, penalties, and
Everything.
everything. And oftentimes, the way
Everything.
you split things up, it can be good for both parties. We can be creative with the settlement options. That's why I'm
Mhm.
there. I'm there to make it, even when it's not amicable, I can still
Right.
make it where it's better for both parties. I'm not working for both
Well,
parties, but I
no,
can
but
give you good strategies to go in
yes, the
somewhere.
strategy so that
Strategies.
people outside of the whole situation don't make the money that should be saved for the parties involved.
Yeah.
That was the thing that was the point that I had to push with my ex-husband. Do we want people that are not involved in this situation to be paid for things that they don't need to be paid for?
Right.
No. Let's just
Right.
do it the most Samson. He's
Oh, is your
My
cat?
cat is rubbing on the edge of the laptop. That's
That's
jiggly.
okay. See, that's the
Um,
other thing. You're in your own house. You can have your pets with you. You know how many pets
yeah,
are
you can
with
have
me
your
in the
pets with
meeting?
you.
You know
But
I
I
love
mean,
animals.
yeah, so it's just the ability to determine how to maintain as much of the funds between the two people and the children as possible rather than paying exterior people who don't really deserve it.
Yeah.
That was huge. That was a
Yeah.
huge thing.
Yeah.
There are
Just
other ways to do
strategy,
things.
strategy. Yeah. There's so much strategy to it, and it's different for everybody. There we go. There's a little bit of Samson,
Did you
just
see
a
the
little
tail?
bit. Yep. With that said, I think we're running out of time. Samson made
Okay.
an appearance. I just wanted to say thank you so much for
Okay, Samson.
sharing with
Come here.
everyone.
Say
There we go.
hello.
Hi, Samson.
Say hello,
Good
Samson.
seeing you again. It's been a little while. I do have people's pets in the meetings. One time I was in a barn with chickens for a
Okay.
pretzel cake. Not literally, but on screen. So that
Okay.
was, yeah, it was interesting.
Well, a variety is the spice of life, Jillian.
Yeah, it is. But thank you so much for sharing with
I'm
everyone. I know this is going to help some women. I'm positive that it's going to help many
I
women.
do hope so.
Yeah,
It was one of the meeting you and getting on this path was one of the greatest things that has helped me through this whole transition onto the next chapters. It was life-changing. So
I
the
love you so
hour
much.
to sit with you and determine whether it's worth it or not is absolutely well spent.